In this video, we're going to talk about gripper ratings. Now, companies have like an arbitrary number that they put for pounds of pressure to close a gripper. I think the COC or Captains of Crush number 3 is probably the most popular gripper out there, the most well-known one. And people are like, oh, it takes 280 pounds of pressure to close this gripper. But the fact is that isn't really the case. And not only that, not every number 3 is created equal. I'm sure by now you've seen either in these videos or somewhere online these little tags that are on a lot of grippers. This is called a gripper rating, and it's called the RGC or redneck gripper calibrator. I think there might be another name for it now, but that's what I know it as, and we're going to go over exactly what that is. Believe it or not, these are all Captains of Crush number 3 grippers. I have one that's rated at 142. I have one that's rated at 146. I have one that's rated at 147. I have one that's rated at 150. I have one that's rated at 153. I have one that's rated at 157. And I have one that's rated at 160. The RGC system was created as a way to compare different grippers to different grippers because people noticed that even a same level gripper from the same company just didn't feel the same. So what they basically do is they have a rig where they have a strap on the end of the handles attached to weights at the bottom, and they find precisely how many pounds of pressure it takes for it to close here. Granted, it's different from your hand closing the gripper because your hand's along the entire handle, but this is just a very helpful system for us to compare gripper strengths to each other. Doing these ratings is very important because the difference between closing a 142 rated gripper and a 160 rated gripper is huge. It's actually probably the difference between going from a 3 to a 3.5. It's just, this is a very easy number 3 and this is a very hard number 3. Having the rating system is also extremely helpful because you can get your grippers rated or order pre-rated grippers and have little increments so you can build up the harder grippers, because it's very hard to just go from like a 142 to a 160. It can take years even to get from one to the other. So having some grippers to fill the gaps can be very helpful. So what's really cool about this system is that you can compare different gripper brands to each other. For example, this GHP is a 167. This Captains of Crush 3.5 is a 168. And this standard gripper is a 166. So granted, they're different brands, you know which one is harder than the other. In a future video, I will share how to get pre-rated grippers or how to get your grippers rated, so stay tuned. Now that you have a basic understanding of the RGC system and why we rate grippers, you're now one step closer to achieving your gripper goals.